I want to get your take, both of you, on the new Truss cabinet. She met with the Queen overnight, as we know, formally commissioned to form government. She's now the Queen's 15th Prime Minister. The Queen looked quite well, I have to say, at Balmoral. Elderly, but of course she is, but she looked quite hale and hearty. There's a bit of a first speech grab I'll play for you now, and then we'll come back to the issue. Let's have a listen.
I will deal hands-on with the energy crisis caused by Putin's war. I will take action this week to deal with energy bills and to secure our future energy supply. I am determined to deliver. Thank you.
She's got a good and strong Defence Minister. I'm not so sure about some of the appointments. I would have loved to see Kemi Badenoch in a front and centre culture portfolio. She got trade, but broadly speaking, Michael, pretty difficult times to take the reins as a new PM. How do you think she'll go?
Well, she's got 40% of the backbench supporting the previous incumbent. She's trying to keep them on side. I think she'll go okay initially. She seems to be realistic about reframing Britain's energy policy. I mean, you'd have to, with poor people paying 5 times the amount of electricity prices they've paid in the past. Nuclear, coal, gas all have to be reconsidered in the mix, and all countries, including Australia, have to understand that they don't seem to understand in any of the CNN or Sky News Britain, baseload power. How do we get it and how do we use it?
Oh, spot on. Kosha, I've got to ask you, you've followed the issues of TikTok. We know that there's a back end to TikTok and WeChat that's accessed or can be accessed by the Chinese Communist government. There's a review underway now, after some pushing and shoving by the opposition, I might add, in Australia on this very issue. But the opposition, they want to make sure the government doesn't rule out banning these apps if necessary.
Yes, I think there's a couple of angles to this issue, or layers to this issue. One is sovereignty and just going back to that strategy of how to counter Chinese aggression. This is absolutely part of it. Australia led the way with Huawei. You saw Prime Minister Modi ban TikTok and 50 other apps just in the last quarter. So I think that's definitely part of it, and that pressure is mounting. The other thing that's going to put this principle to test, though, is that the thing is, other than Chinese apps, American apps also harvest data. And, we saw this network ran into that a little bit with YouTube and Facebook as well. So I think that issue is going to require broader debate, but I think this is a good first step if something happens to counter TikTok and other Chinese apps, as they come into play in Australia.
I've run out of time, Michael. I know you've got some great stories out of Israel, particularly on technology. We might do them next week if we can. I think some of them have got great application to Australia. Kosha and Michael.
Good to be back with the old team. Thanks.
I think so too.